Hello everybody, Root Beer here with question 23 on the 2005 grade 8 Gauss. A wheel with radius 1 meter is rolled in a straight line through one complete revolution on a flat horizontal surface. How many meters did the center of the wheel travel horizontally from its starting location? Okay. How many meters did the center of the wheel travel horizontally from its starting location? So what are the options here? We got 4 pi, 2, 2 pi, pi, and 1. Well, I think a picture just might be in order for this one. So we'll flip over to a new piece of paper. So what have we got? We've got a horizontal surface. And we've got our circle, our circular wheel thing. Yeah, it's a wheel. And I'm going to mark a radius. Not only that, I'm going to mark a very special radius, this blue radius, and I'm going to sort of track his progress so that I know I've gone one full rotation. So, you know, we go a bit of a distance, and now the line, if we're looking at it from the side, this marked spoke, this spray painted spoke or something like that, has rotated up a little bit because we're rotating this way. Now we go a little further, and maybe we're at the halfway point. Now the marked spoke has gone all the way up. So we'll know we've gone one full rotation when we get to the end, and this spoke is back to its starting position, which is pointing directly at the ground. Okay. So what do we want? We want to know the distance that the center traveled. Okay. Now, what can we see here? Well, because of the way we chose our blue spoke, our little identifier, we can say, well, it's sticking right down at the ground, so we get right angles here. And so I think we've got a bit of a rectangle. A rectangle of height 1 meter. And the length is the distance that we want, the thing that we want, but it's also the distance the wheel has basically traveled. Okay? So how can we get this distance? How can we work out this distance? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that this isn't a wheel. I'm going to imagine that this is a paint roller. And here we've got a thick layer of green paint on here. Okay? So, you know, maybe you've helped out painting the rec center or your nephew's room or something. You know, you get a paint roller, you roll it in some paint, and then you paint it up the wall. And as the wheel inside the paint roller rotates, it slowly applies the paint that's on it to the surface. Okay? And it loses its paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now draw the picture. So the green paint slowly spools out. Okay. We still have paint left on over here, but we've lost some of the paint already. And now more paint coming out, and now half the paint is gone. It's only on this side here. And the paint still keeps coming down and keeps getting applied, and then all of a sudden we're done and we've gone the whole length of paint. And when we make this connection, we can see, well, the amount of paint that we have spread is the same. It's just this distance here is in a giant line, whereas the paint on the roller is the circumference. So this distance is equal to the circumference of the wheel, or a paint roller in my mind. Well, I can figure that out because I know the radius. So what's circumference? Well, it's 2 pi r. So in this case, 2 pi times 1 meter. So we get 2 pi meters, and I think that was one of the answers that we read out. So this question isn't so bad as long as we were able to think about it in the right way. Drawing a picture with successive images, understanding how the rotation is going, what's happening to the center there is fantastic, and then making the connection between circumference and this distance. And maybe you were just sort of smart enough to say, aha, it's got to be the circumference. Or maybe you need an analogy, like a paint roller full of paint, slowly getting rid of its paint. Or maybe you thought of a spool of yarn, and we pin the yarn down here, and how much thread do we get rid of after one rotation? It'll be a circumference's worth of thread, that sort of thing. But either way, we get our answer, 2 pi meters. That's a fantastic answer. We're going to flip the page in anticipation of our next question, question 24. Hopefully you guys will join me in the next video for that one.